This is what happened on this week's Monday Night Raw. The show opens with a video package showing all that has happened between Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and Dominik Mysterio. The show opens, and Rhea Ripley is here. As usual, she looks fine as hell. She walks through the backstage area and then makes her entrance. It feels so good to hear her music and see her back on TV. Mommy is well and truly back. She gets into the ring, grabs a microphone, and says Mommy is home. She says it's been 3 months since she's been in this ring, and it is all because of Liv Morgan. She says she has seen her running around with something that belongs to Rhea Ripley, and it is not Dominik Mysterio, because she is going to deal with Dominik in her own way. It is her Women's World Championship, a title that she never lost. She says that Liv Morgan thought she took her out when, in truth, she just managed to piss Rhea off. Then she calls out Liv Morgan so that she can rip her apart. Music hits, and it is not Liv Morgan. It is Dominik Mysterio. He comes out with a microphone in one hand and a black rose in the other. He is welcomed by the usual "you suck" chants and booing. He gets into the ring, and Rhea refuses to even acknowledge his presence. Before he could speak though and say what he came to say, Liv Morgan shows up on the Tron calling out Rhea. She says hi and apologizes for her throaty and scratchy voice. She says that the reason for this voice is that she's been partying in Mexico all weekend long, and she's also been known to be quite the screamer. Damn, Liv Morgan. Then she says hi to her daddy Dom. Then she asks Rhea how her shoulder is, because Liv Morgan's shoulder is all fine because it has the championship on that shoulder. She says to Rhea that by now you know that Liv meant it when she said that she wanted to take everything away from Rhea Ripley, and that includes Dominik Mysterio. She says at the beginning though, she struggled to see what Rhea saw in Dominik, but then, when she got to spend some time with Dominik, she looked into his eyes, and the moment that she kissed him, at that moment everything became clear and real. She says that you might finally be home, Rhea, but Liv Morgan is finally on top. Dominik says that it's not what it looks like. Rhea gets angry and says to Liv that she knew you would be too afraid to come out here and be in the same ring as Rhea Ripley, because Liv knows that once she does, her so-called revenge tour is over. She says that she has waited 3 months and she can wait a bit more. Summerslam. She challenges Liv Morgan to a match for the Women's Championship. Liv says she knew that this would always be the endgame. It would always end with a high-stakes match, but she warns Rhea that she is not the same Liv Morgan anymore. She has helped beat Dominik Mysterio finally beat his deadbeat dad, something Rhea will not do, and now she's going to beat Rhea Ripley too. She blows a kiss to Dominik and says that she hopes to see him at SummerSlam too. Rhea comes to the camera and says that she knows you're still listening, Liv Morgan, so Rhea has this to say. SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley is going to end your career, Liv Morgan. The promo is over and Rhea is about to leave when Dominik holds the rope for Rhea Ripley. She gives him an angry look and he backs away. She gets out of the ring and Dominik follows her. They go to the backstage area. End of segment. Next up, we have Sheamus, and he faces Fat Bronson Reed. Backstage, Dominik is still following Rhea Ripley and he's pleading for her forgiveness. He keeps asking for a chance so he can offer up some explanation for his actions, but Rhea Ripley keeps on ignoring him. She goes to her locker room, and when she opens the door, she sees that Dominik has decorated the locker room for Rhea Ripley. She asks Dominik what the hell is this, and then she shuts the door in Dominik's face. Dominik turns around and Priest is there, smiling. He asks Dominik, is everything okay? He says no, not really. Then Rhea Ripley opens the door and throws the flowers in Dominik's face. She also gives him back this silver horse thing that Dominik had gotten for her as a gift. She shuts the door and then Dominik says to Priest that it's a little bit complicated. End of segment. Moving on to the match in the ring now, Fat Bronson Reed makes his entrance and the match gets underway. In the end, Fat Bronson Reed misses his move and then Sheamus hits him with a knee to win the match. Fat Bronson Reed is angry and is planning on attacking Sheamus, but he is intercepted by Pete Dunne. Pete saves Sheamus and then exits the ring. Sheamus looks at him and asks him what's the matter, but he does not reply. When Sheamus turns his back, Pete gets back into the ring and he starts attacking Sheamus. He exits the ring and Fat Bronson Reed takes advantage and hits Sheamus with Tsunami. End of match. Backstage, Rhea and Priest are talking and Priest says that it is mighty good to have you back. Rhea says that it is good to be back, and she also thanks Priest for keeping everyone and everything together in the absence of Rhea Ripley, especially with everything Priest has had on his plate. Rhea says that tonight, Priest has a face-to-face with Gunther and also a match with Braun Strowman, so if he needs any help, Rhea Ripley has got his back. He says that it is fine because Gunther is just here to talk and not fight, and as far as Braun Strowman goes, Priest should have handled him a long time ago. Rhea says that she has a question though, why is Carlito hanging out with the Judgment Day? Priest laughs and then Dominik appears. Priest leaves the two of them by themselves. Dominik says to Rhea to just hear him out. He has been calling Rhea for a week now but she has not answered his phone call. Rhea says you were talking about the last week. Well, what about the last 3 months? She waited for Dominik's call but I guess Dominik was busy with her new girlfriend Liv Morgan. She throws the rose in his face and she leaves. Carlito comes to Dominik and he says, "Are you ready for this?" He asks Dominik. She's angry, huh? Wisdom from Carlito. End of segment. Backstage, Sami Zayn is seen talking to Ilja Dragunov. Ilja says to him that he wants to make it clear why he was out there last week helping Sami against Bron Breakker. Sami interrupts him and says that that's not the reason he is getting the match for the Intercontinental Championship tonight. He is getting the match because Sami Zayn asked for this match specifically. Sami says he's been watching Ilja for a while and Sami admits that he is pretty good. Sami says that Ilja reminds him of himself, how when Ilja is in the ring, he leaves everything in that very ring and Sami does the same thing. You deserve a chance at the Intercontinental Championship, Sami says. Sami ends this talk by saying that Ilja you have to bring your best tonight. Ilja suggests Sami does the same thing. End of segment. Next up, a video package is shown highlighting Gunther's accomplishments so far in WWE. Then, we see Zelena Vega and she is talking to Jackie. She asks Vega what does the return of Rhea Ripley mean for Vega's crusade to get the Women's Championship? Vega says she does not care for Liv Morgan or Rhea Ripley. She also says that when they are all done with their little love triangle, she is going to be at the front of the line to challenge for the title. She says she deserves this opportunity because Dominik had costed her in her match against Liv Morgan. Then, the three lesbians show up. Remember they made their debut as a team last week by attacking Damage Control. Sonya says it is interesting that Zelena still thinks that she's at the front of the line even with the three lesbians in the WWE right now. Sonya also says that the line now does not go to Rhea or Liv, it goes to the three lesbians because the three lesbians are taking over WWE. Zelena apologizes to Sonya and says that she could not hear anything because of Sonya's massive forehead. Zelena says that nothing is standing in her way in the title, not Liv Morgan, not Rhea Ripley, not Dominik and his mustache, not Zoe Stark and their mustache, and certainly not Sonya Deville's forehead. Zelena challenges Sonya to a match and she accepts. End of segment. Next up, Zelena Vega makes her entrance for said match. Sonya Deville also makes her entrance along with the two lesbians. The match gets underway and in the end, Shayna gets involved while the referee is distracted. She sweeps Zelena off her feet on the apron. She grabs her arm and twists it in a peculiar way. She kicks her arm and Zelena is in a lot of pain. Sonya hits her finisher and the match ends with Sonya's victory. After the match, the three lesbians are still attacking Zelena Vega and they are targeting the very arm that was injured in the match. Lyra shows up with two random girls and they save Zelena Vega from a further beatdown. The three lesbians stand tall and make a statement. End of match. Backstage, Dominik asks Priest why didn't he warn him about Rhea Ripley last week? Priest says that he tried to tell him but he was busy with Liv Morgan. He also says that Dominik lied to him about communicating with Rhea Ripley and Dominik also lied about ending everything with Liv Morgan. Jey Uso shows up and interrupts their conversation. Jey Uso asks Priest and Dom, "Is it true? Is it true? Please tell me that it is true." Priest asks what? Jey says the fact that Rhea Ripley is single and is ready to mingle, because Jey is ready to holler at her. Damn, my man Jey is trying to get the Judgment Day V. Priest looks at Dom and says maybe. Jey says yeet and Dom says, no yeet and stop with this nonsense. Jey leaves but before he goes, he says to Dom to tell mommy that Jey Uso says hi. Priest says to Dom you cannot let people talk to you like that. He also says that now you ought to show Jey Uso who mommy belongs to. Dom says you're right and he plans to take care of business tonight. Dom leaves and Priest laughs. End of segment. Backstage, Adam is seen talking to these two referees. Chad Gable shows up and he says to Adam Pearce that he has figured it out. He has cracked the code and he knows for sure now that Bo Dallas is indeed Uncle Howdy. Then he asks Adam what did Bo Dallas wanted to talk about last week in Adam's office. Adam says that conversation is privileged between him and Dallas. Chad says to Adam well Bo Dallas and his crew have been after him for a few weeks now and now he wants to know what Adam is going to do about it. Adam stops him and says well Bo Dallas is here tonight, so if you want to talk to him, go find him. Chad says that while Adam is dwindling his thumb, Chad will take care of this tonight by calling out Bo Dallas. Chad calls Adam pathetic and leaves. End of segment. Next up, World Heavyweight Champion Priest makes his entrance for his face-to-face with Gunther. He gets into the ring and asks crowd to rise in his honor. Priest says he wants this face-to-face right now and he says to Gunther to get out right now. Music hits and it is the ring general, Gunther. He gets into the ring and the face-to-face gets underway. Gunther says to Priest that he is still the champ and he is still carrying this burden and Monday Night Raw on his back. Gunther says that in his time off, he has been observing Priest and he has one thing to say and that is, Priest is not living up to the image of a true champion. Gunther says to Priest that your title reign has been nothing. Then Gunther says that he is here to do Priest a favor and that is, he wants to take this burden off of his shoulders. He wants to save Priest the embarrassment though and says that if Priest were to give him the title right now, Gunther can just move on and nothing diabolical needs to happen. Priest laughs. He says that it is not your title Gunther and if it was SummerSlam right now, Priest would knock that stupid smile off of Gunther's face. Priest says that he has fought for this moment and for this title and everything he has for 20 years. Priest says that it was my dream to do so, and if this is not Gunther's dream and Gunther is here just for a paycheck, then Gunther can just leave right now. Priest says he has earned this and Gunther is the last person who will take this title away from him. Gunther says that he is not here to question Priest's street credibility but let's be honest, being on the street is a choice. He says to Priest that your parents are to blame because they did not think that you should have a normal and a good life, so they threw you out on the streets. Gunther says my parents provided me with everything, unlike yours. Gunther says that WWE begged him to sign a WWE contract because he is so good. Gunther says that he will be the one to give honor to this company and that title. Gunther says that these people are also just like you Priest. These people are street trash and so are you Priest. Damian says that you have always been a man of a clear vision but now, you can't even see what's coming for you at SummerSlam. Priest says that you are going to lose to me for the same reason you lost at WrestleMania and that is, you don't have any heart. Priest says that he is going to retain his title at SummerSlam and that he is going to make sure that Gunther ends up with nothing and starts from the bottom. Priest says to Gunther that after SummerSlam we will all find out if you're something more than a boring, conceited, privileged, scumbag. It gets heated and then the music hits. Braun Strowman is here for his match against Priest. This match is up next. Backstage, Jey Uso is taking to Adam Pearce and Adam says that tonight Jey will face Dominik. Jey leaves and then Bron Breakker shows up and says that how come he did not get his rematch but Ilja Dragunov has a title opportunity. Adam says that he has a title opportunity because the champion himself, Sami Zayn, asked for it. Breakker says that no worries, he is just going to go out there and destroy everyone who's involved in the Intercontinental Championship match. Adam says he figured that that's what was going to happen and that's why security is going to escort you out. Breakker says that he knows the way and he can go on his own. Security shows up and Adam says that make sure that he leaves the arena. End of segment. Next up, the match between Braun Strowman and Damian Priest gets underway. During the match, Strowman hurts his knee and in the end, that injury comes into play. Strowman cannot wrestle properly because of the injury and Priest takes advantage. He delivers his finisher on Strowman and 1 2 3, the champion wins. After the match, Gunther shows up again. Gunther slaps Priest on the chest. Then Priest starts attacking Gunther. Gunther though gets up and delivers a chop to the chest again. Priest then answers with a clothesline. Gunther rolls out of the ring and leaves. Priest stands tall in the ring. End of match. Backstage, Maxine is talking to the Alpha Academy and she says that she has talked to him and he is still their friend and they ought to help their friend out in this predicament. Chad shows up and says that it looks like we are all on the same page now. Tozawa says that he does not know what is happening. Chad says that he finally figured it out that Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. Maxine says that yeah we all know that. Chad says that he is going to get out there tonight and call out Bo Dallas. He also says that he will do so tonight because his crew will be with him by his side tonight. Maxine says I am sorry but we weren't talking about helping you. Xavier Woods shows up. Maxine says to Woods that she knows that Kofi is going to be gone for some time now and Tozawa and Otis want to help him out in his match against the Final Testicle next week. Chad gets angry and asks Otis if he is serious. Otis, instead of fearing him, says that yes he is serious. Chad Gable leaves. Xavier Woods says that together, they are going to make the Final Testicle regret their decision of attacking Kofi. End of segment. Next up, Lyra Valkyrie is here with these two random indie wrestlers. And they face the two lesbians from the team, the three lesbians. The match gets underway. In the end, Zoe pins this unknown wrestler to win the match. The three lesbians against Antal. End of match. Backstage, at the Judgment Day Clubhouse, Finn says to Rhea that he wants to address the elephant in the room and that is that, yes Liv Morgan helped them win the tag titles. Rhea says she does not care about that because, In the end, all that matters is that the titles are back where they belong. Rhea says that now it is time for Rhea to get her title back to the Judgment Day can be whole again. Dominik shows up and he says to Rhea Ripley that Jey Uso was talking out of line about you, so he went to Adam and got a match with Jey to set him straight. Rhea says that why are you picking a fight with Jey Uso, are you stupid? Dominik says that he can go and get the match cancelled right now. Rhea says why, are you a coward or something now? Dominik says that he will not cancel the match because he wants to show everyone and Jey Uso that Rhea Ripley is still Dominik's mommy and that Rhea belongs to Dominik. Rhea says excuse me and she leaves. Carlito shows up and says, not cool. End of segment. Next up, Adam calls Drew out to the ring. Drew McIntyre is here. Adam says that despite Drew's suspension, Adam allowed him to be here tonight but he does not want to waste Drew's time. Adam says that let's be honest, CM Punk vs Drew McIntyre can be a special match. Adam says we all want this match to become a reality including CM Punk, but the only question is how bad does Drew McIntyre want this match? Drew says he wants it more than anything else in this world. Adam says that for that to happen, Drew needs to leave all the pettiness and all the unprofessionalism behind. Adam says to Drew, if you can do all that, we can get to business. Drew says he wants this match and the WWE Universe wants this match. He asks the crowd, do you want this match at SummerSlam, and they all cheer. Then they start chanting CM Punk. Drew says we are all ready, so let's make it official. Adam says that before making it official, he needs one thing from Drew. Drew asks what is it? And Adam calls the two referees standing outside into the ring. Adam says to Drew that if you want this match, you have to look at these two referees and apologize for everything that happened at Money in the Bank. Drew asks why would I apologize? Adam says out of respect. Drew says you are being unreasonable. It's all water under a bridge, let's move on and make the match official. Adam says no, it's not going to happen, the referees got hurt and Adam needs Drew to acknowledge the fact that they got hurt and apologize. Crowd starts chanting say you're sorry. Drew walks up to the referees and says, no. He says he is not going to apologize after everything the referees have done to screw him over. Good point, Drew. Drew says to Adam that all this happened under your watch, Adam, and you are just as much to blame. Drew says after everything Punk did, all the security measures and all the referees were let loose on Drew McIntyre and not CM Punk. Drew says then, keeping all this in mind, Adam, you deserve that elbow in the face at Money in the Bank by Drew McIntyre. Damn, respect, Drew McIntyre. He says to Adam that Adam should be the one to apologize to Drew McIntyre, not the other way around. Drew says everyone should apologize to me, including the people. He says last week Seth Rollins thought he could get his hands on Punk before Drew, and that is not going to happen. Drew wants CM Punk's head and he is going to get it. Drew says everyone is always screwing him but not anymore. Adam says that well Drew, if you are not going to accept this, I am. And forget about the match because you are still suspended. Drew starts walking towards Adam and one of the referees gets in the way. Drew pushes him away. Then the other referee gets into the way and Drew pushes him away. Drew is raging on Adam and it looks like he is going to snap at any moment, and then the music hits. It is Seth Rollins. He runs into the ring and he goes after Drew. He is about to deliver the curb stomp on Drew and Drew rolls out of the ring. Adam and Seth stand tall in the ring. Drew pushes security out of the way and leaves. End of segment. Next up, we are shown what is on the latest VHS tape by the Wyatt Six. Eric is here and Uncle Howdy asks him how have you been. Eric says that he is not going to lie, the few years have been hard. He says that he lost his family. You know, the original Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper and Erick Rowan. Both Bray and Luke have passed away in real life, so Eric remains alone. He says that his family always had his back. But then one day, the whole world changed. They were gone and he was all alone. He says he lost the person in this world who believed in him the most. He lost Bray Wyatt. Eric says that in this situation, it is best to get up, so he did. Eric says he got up, but then his other brother also died, Luke Harper. He was gone and that meant that he had not family anymore. He says after this, he fell into a well, he could not move, he felt catatonic. He was just Eric then. Uncle Howdy asks him how did that make you feel? And hands him the sheep mask. He looks at the mask and says that it gives me hope. He says that when he was at his lowest, Uncle Howdy pulled him up. He saw Uncle Howdy's hand and he grabbed it because he knew that Uncle Howdy had a purpose and he would give him a purpose. Uncle Howdy's purpose is to help all the people who are like Erick Rowan. He looks at the sheep mask and says that we are going to take our broken hearts and we are going to make a beautiful world. The tape ends. Holy moly. That was personal and awesome and just plain beautiful. Next up, Dominik Mysterio is here for his match against Jey Uso. Jey Uso makes his entrance and the match gets underway. In the end though, Jey Uso is going up top for an Uso splash, but Liv Morgan shows up and she saves Dominik Mysterio. Dom asks Liv what is she doing. He asks Liv to leave. Jey Uso baseball slides Dominik and he falls on Liv Morgan. This time though, Liv is not remaining a bottom like last week. She grabs Dom and flips him over and Liv Morgan is finally on top. She's going in for a kiss and the music hits. Rhea Ripley is here. Liv Morgan runs away and leaves through the crowd again. Dom is trying to explain to Rhea, but Rhea says to Dom to get back into the ring and finish the match. He gets back into the ring and Jey Uso spears him. Then an Uso splash and 1 2 3 and Jey Uso wins it. Rhea is disappointed. After the match, Rhea looks at Jey and Jey does this. Call me. Rhea walks away and Jey Uso celebrates. End of match. Next up, Chad Gable is here. Backstage, Dominik is walking when Priest shows up and says that man it is tough that you lost. Then Rhea shows up and Priest leaves. Rhea says that let's make one thing clear, I do not belong to anyone. Because I am not yours. You are mine. She gives him a rose and she leaves. Dom, you lucky scoundrel. Moving on, Chad Gable is in the ring and he says that he has solved the greatest mystery in WWE's history, and that is that he knows who is Uncle Howdy and it is Bo Dallas. Then he calls out Bo Dallas and says that he and his freak friends have been making his life worse for the past few weeks and it all stops now. He keeps calling him out and finally, Bo Dallas is here. He's walking to the ring when he is attacked by the Creed brothers. They pummel him and throw him around and Bo Dallas sold it all like a champ. The Creed brothers throw Bo Dallas at Chad Gable's feet and they all stand tall over him. During the attack though, Bo Dallas was laughing while getting beaten up. And even now while laying here, he is still laughing like a maniac. They all get worried and Bo Dallas starts to get up. Chad Gable kicks him. Then Creed brother grab Bo Dallas and Chad Gable starts punching him in the face. Bo Dallas is still laughing. They beat him some more but Bo Dallas is still laughing. Chad Gable delivers his finisher but Bo Dallas is still kicking and is still laughing. Chad grabs Bo Dallas's face and asks him, what are you laughing at? What is so funny, Bo? The lights go out. The ring gets filled with smoke. This light is shining brightly. And out come the Wyatt Six. They walk slowly and methodically to the ring. They stand on the apron and the Creed brothers and Chad Gable are still in the ring. Chad Gable retreats though, and after he does so, the Creed brothers follow him and get out of dodge. The Wyatt Six get into the ring and Bo Dallas comes to the center of the ring. They all stand together. Bo laughs maniacally once more and he does the same gesture that Bray Wyatt used to do. The segment ends with this show right here. Man, that was so good. Next up, it is time for the main event between Ilja Dragunov and Sami Zayn. The match gets underway. In the end, Breakker shows up. He delivers his signature around the ring spear to Ilja and Dragunov is down. Then Sami and Breakker go at it. Then Breakker takes Sami in the ring. He throws him around and then runs to load his finisher. He spears Sami brutally. In the end, he stands tall and the show ends with this show right here. What did you think of tonight's show? Comment down the part you liked the most and make sure to also like the video and sub to the channel. See you in the next recap. Toodles.